what's going on guys, Oscarmini here. This is the TECNO Pouvoir 4 and here's my review for the smartphone. We're going to check out the little improvements of the Pouvoir 4 over the TECNO Pouvoir 3 from last year, the predecessor, finding out the reasons you might want to pick up this device or even ditch it. And also there is an ongoing giveaway on this channel which I'll talk more about at the end of this video. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Now first off, I want to let you guys know that TECNO has a couple series of smartphones which actually focus on different sections of what users need. Like the Camon series is more of the camera kind of smartphone, the Phantom for their flagship devices, the Spark for entry devices, and the TECNO Pouvoir series actually aimed at giving users a maximum battery experience. So with that out of the way, let's get to see what comes in the box with the TECNO Pouvoir 4. The Pouvoir 4 comes in this short but wide box, unlike anything we've seen from them before, with that large 4 text written in the display of the smartphone with a dewdrop notch. More on that later. Unwrapping the box reveals the smartphone, which feels a little heavy and long, but let me set that aside for now. You also get a tiny film protector, a 12+1 month warranty, as has been the custom here. You also get to see the silicone case for protection, which also does add to making this device feel a little larger than it's comfortable for me. Other things in the box include the 3.5mm jack headphones. These things ain't going nowhere as far as budget devices are concerned right now. You also get a micro USB cable for data transfer and charging up this device. And lastly, a 10-watt charging brick for a 6000 mAh battery, and no fast charge here. Did I forget to mention the SIM ejector tool within the box? You also have that here. Now, as far as design is concerned, the TECNO Pouvoir 4 feels like something out of 2019 when you look at the front of the smartphone because of this dewdrop notch at the front here. But when you turn this device to the back, like the rear, you get to see a quad camera setup, which is something that you only see in 2020, like 4 camera setup here. Now, to the bottom of the smartphone, you get a mouthpiece opening, a 3.5mm jack for your headphones, the micro USB port for charging and data transfer, and a down-firing speaker. Okay, then to the left side has the power button in this red accent, which is something I really love, and the dual SIM tray, which has a micro SD card, a dedicated micro SD card slot. Also to the right side, you have the volume rocker and the power button, while the top remains bland. Taking a look at the rear of the smartphones has the quad camera setup like I said earlier, and the fingerprint sensor, the trusty old fingerprint sensor, which is quite fast, faster than what you get on most on-screen display fingerprint sensors, and also the TECNO branding from the rear of this device. So generally speaking, the TECNO Pouvoir 4 has this sturdy build and it's quite comfortable to hold, but with that case in here, it feels a little bit too big for one-handed use actually, but that's what we get for the price and for this device this year. So speaking about the display here, you have a 7.0-inch LCD panel here with a resolution of 720p, which is HD. You have a 20.5:9 aspect ratio, 480 nits of brightness, and that resolution is actually 720 by 1640, and this does get the job done with this display being reasonably bright outdoors. Some little things you might notice about the TECNO Pouvoir 4 would include the fact that it runs on iOS 6.1, which is a skin of Android on top of Android 10. And besides the fact that iOS has improved over time from what we used to know it to be, it still has a couple bloatware apps which we don't really need and we don't use on the smartphone. So the fact that we can remove most of these apps is something we're grateful for, but come to think of it, we don't really need these things on the smartphone. Other features of iOS here include the dark mode, which is now enabled on Android 10 for iOS 6.1. Now, most of you guys always ask about the microphone and speakers on devices like this, and after testing this, I can say this is one of the best smartphone microphones you can get on a smartphone around this price. You can hear that from the recording I'm going to play for you guys right now.
Hey guys, Oscarmini here, and this is the sound check for the microphone on the TECNO Pouvoir 4. I'm basically holding this phone close to my mouth like I would hold it while making a phone call with a loudspeaker on the smartphone. So guys, tell me what you think about the quality coming off this device in the comment section below.
Now speaking about the speakers, the most amazing thing about the TECNO Pouvoir 4 is the fact that you have stereo speakers on this device. Now you have a down-firing speaker here, and the top here has another speaker which makes it become a stereo speaker from the smartphone. Here is a sound check to understand what the speaker sounds like.
You better make way. When it comes to this, I don't take breaks, and because of this, I need a pay raise. I gotta ask myself for a pay raise. Hey Nate, what do you say, mate? Well, Well shit dog, you a real boss and that gross looking like it made weights.
So processing power is one thing most people want to talk about when they get a smartphone at this price range. And here's a quick overview of what you get with the TECNO Pouvoir 4. You're getting the Helio A22 processor, which is a quad-core processor clocked at 2 GHz. You get 3 GB of RAM here, and also 32 GB of internal storage. Now, 32 GB of internal storage might not seem like a lot, but with the expandable storage slot here, you can expand your memory from that 32 GB to whatever you want, like you can max it out. So with 3 GB of RAM here, this might not be the best performing smartphone or the most multitasking smartphone you can get. But the thing here is that this smartphone can perform day-to-day activities like surfing the web, playing video games, a couple of light video games. I wouldn't throw heavy titles on the smartphones also. But with that being said, it didn't deter me from testing out a couple games like Call of Duty, Pro Evolution Soccer, Asphalt 9 and PUBG on the smartphone. And PUBG maxed out at balanced graphics and medium frame rate. One thing I noticed while playing PUBG on this smartphone is that the game played smoother on this smartphone, the Pouvoir 4, than it played on the Pouvoir 3 from last year, despite these smartphones having the same processor. I don't know, maybe something about the app has been improved or optimized for lower end devices, but it got smoother here than what you got from last year. Let's talk about the department where the smartphone does shine, and that's the battery. Now, with the TECNO Pouvoir 4, you're getting 6,000 mAh batteries on the smartphone, and this did last me for a full 2-day use without having to top up charge on the smartphone. Now, the only thing I do not really like about having a 6,000 mAh battery on a smartphone is the fact that you need a fast charger to charge it quickly, but with the 10-watt charger included within the box, you can only use this device for 3 hours. 3 hours didn't get this thing to 100% from zero. And that means the best way to charge this kind of device with that charger is having it charge overnight and pick it up in the morning before you go out for your day-to-day activities. So let's talk about the cameras on the TECNO Pouvoir 4. The rear here features 4 camera setup, like a quad camera setup with an LED flash, and from the top to bottom you get the depth sensor, the main lens which is 30 megapixel, the macro lens, the 2 megapixel sensor, and the QVGA sensor at the bottom, while the front side features an 8 megapixel front facing camera with dual flash. Now, I wouldn't say the photos coming off the TECNO Pouvoir 4 are the best you can get for this price, but one thing I can tell you for sure is that with good lighting, you get decent photos which are good for social media needs. Here are a couple photos you might want to check out for yourself to see what the smartphone has to offer. Now, the front-facing camera, on the other hand, isn't as good as the rear camera, obviously, but it gets the job done, giving you decent photos with good lighting also. When it comes to videos on the TECNO Pouvoir 4, both the rear and the front-facing camera can record at up to 1080p, which is full HD, but this goes on with no form of stabilization whatsoever. Hey guys, Oscarmini here, and this is a front-facing camera video test for the TECNO Pouvoir 4. I think I like the color reproduction, but I'm seeing some tint of magenta in this video, but do let me know what you think about the color reproduction and color quality, and also the audio coming off the smartphone. When it comes to the pricing of the TECNO Pouvoir 4, you can get this device for 55,000 naira, which converts roughly to $140. Now, what are my final thoughts on the TECNO Pouvoir 4? Now, the theme here for the Pouvoir series isn't to give you the fastest device at this price point, but to give you a device that caters for your battery needs and gives you a solid battery life over a long period of time. If you need a smartphone that gives you great battery life and checks out basic day-to-day activity, performance, and all that kind of stuff on a smartphone, this is something you might want to check out at this price point. Otherwise, you might want to look somewhere else, but for great battery life and decent performance for day-to-day activities for an average user, you might want to pick up the TECNO Pouvoir 4. So with that out of the way, I'll be giving away the Synology DS220J in collaboration with Synology to one of you guys. All you have to do is go to the video where I've talked about that device. I'll have that video linked in the description below so you can know how to enter to win that device. So that's been it for this video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the TECNO Pouvoir 4. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Hit the like button, share. Other than that, it's goodbye, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Cuídate.